we've got a big weekend.
TMD.
You got to make sure you got your ducks in a row.
Weekend preview.
Can't ask for much more than that.
This weekend, the NASCAR world moves to the Petey region of South Carolina to the legendary Darlington Raceway, the home of legends.
Here's Elliott coming off turn number 4, gets right down in the middle of the racetrack, has not cracked that throttle yet. As they take a look at his pits, Ernie Elliott is out there. They've been making a couple of hand gestures toward each other. White flag for him as he takes it back into turn 1.
Bill Elliott is into the corner. He's on the low side of the racetrack. Earnhardt cannot catch him now unless there's a major problem. Elliott is off turn number 2. He comes past us, still very much under power. He's on the backstretch.
The fans are on their feet here in turn 4. Elliott slows. The lapped cars go by him up in turn number 3. Phil Parsons and Darrell Waltrip go by. Here comes Dale Earnhardt. He is closing ground quickly in turn 4.
Elliott working the car back and forth. Earnhardt goes past. Elliott is out of gas. He's coasting across to the line. Earnhardt will win it. What a finish.
Richard, that's as close as you can cut them, boy.
Yeah, we knew that if we went, that we'd run out on the last lap, somewhere on the last lap, and it was just, we was going to gamble that they tried the same thing, and we knew it was going to be real close. I'm just happy. It's a great race, and I'm just glad for the fans. They got a real good race today, and just like to thank all my crew and our sponsors.
You had to be sweating a little bit there at the end.
Sweating wasn't word for that. The fuel gauge went down, bobbled on the backstretch at one time, and I told him, I said, I'm coming to get some gas, guys. And I dove in there and got some gas, and I run the 90 back down, and I was running the car pretty hard, and slow traffic caught Bill going in one down there, and I seen him get bottled up there, and thinking of him getting slowed down and knowing I was going to make up some ground, I went in a little too hard. I lost the car, got in the wall, and knocked the right side of the car all up. And then I said, well, that's the end of it. And I'll be doggone if it didn't run out on the last lap going in 1. We come around past him coming off 4, just couldn't believe it. The good Lord's looking after us. It's a good race for us today. The track stayed in pretty good shape. The tires worked consistently. It was just a good day for the Childers crew.
That's how it sounded March 29th, 1987. Bill Elliott took the white flag, ran out of gas on the backstretch with a half a lap to go in the Trans-South 500. Dale Earnhardt passed him coming off turn 4, picked up his third of 9 Darlington wins. 6 cars finished on the lead lap that day. They were Dale, Bill Elliott, Richard Petty, Sterling Marlin, Ken Schrader, driving for Junie Donlevy, and Neil Bonnet. This weekend will be the 6th triple header of the season. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series kicks us off with the Buckle Up South Carolina 200. It'll be the 11th time the trucks have raced at Darlington, and the roster of winning drivers is an impressive one. Bobby Hamilton, Casey Kane, and Sheldon Creed have won their 2 times apiece. Here, actually. Ted Musgrave, Todd Bodine, Ben Rhodes, and John Hunter Nemechek have all survived to win. Tonight's race will feature 4 Cup drivers entered: William Byron, Bubba Wallace, Corey LaJoie, and Ross Chastain. Stuart Friesen is going for his first win of the season in what has been a challenging year. But, Stu, the Shoes got some confidence tonight.
We've been pretty good. We missed it a little bit there last year. But like I said, in 2021, we ran third and we're running down Sheldon. And I think it was John Hunter at the end. So we've had fast trucks, and I look forward to it. When you got a good truck there, you can move around a little bit. You can work that apron. And the uniqueness of the track is just something that's really cool, and obviously the history there is neat. So, like I said, we got some good notes to go off, and we'll put our heads together, and hopefully we can come up with another good, solid race package this weekend.
Rev Racing's Nick Sanchez will make his debut at Darlington tonight, and he explained what it's like being a rookie racing at the track Too Tough to Tame.
It's unique, and I feel like the biggest thing everyone tells me is risk versus reward. Obviously, trucks, steel body, you hit the fence, you're done. So it's about kind of right in that razor's edge of, on the wall packing air. But, if you overstep, your night's over. So really the whole night for me is going to be balancing that, when to push, how much to push, and just, running on that edge without stepping over it.
The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Buckle Up South Carolina 200, 147 laps, 200.8 miles. Stage breaks at laps 45 and 90. FS1 will be your television destination. Here on the channel, Dave's going to take you until 7 Eastern with SiriusXM Speedway. Motor Racing Network will go on the air then with coverage of the tough trucks of NASCAR. Dialed In with Claire B. Lang will be on the air after the trucks to wrap up the broadcasting day. Claire B. will take you until midnight in the East. Tomorrow, the NASCAR Xfinity Series is back at Darlington Raceway for the Shriners Children's 200. It'll be the 66th time for the series here. Coming into this race, well, on paper, it looks to be Junior Motorsports to rule the roost. They've won the last 4 Darlington Xfinity Series races. Pickings have been slim this year, though, as they go for win 1 of the year. Chandler Smith is looking for his 2nd of the season.
I enjoy Darlington. I feel like it has a lot of same tendencies as Homestead does to an extent, which I really enjoyed racing Homestead and Xfinity car. So hopefully a little bit of that experience will translate over, and even being in a truck at Darlington the handful of times I was, hopefully that'll pay off too. But those 2 vehicles are just completely different in so many different variables that it's kind of hard to compare. But no, I'm really excited to get out there with my number 16 Quick-Type Frog Chevy Camaro and showcase what us and colleague racing can do.
Carson Hocevar will do double duty. He'll also run the Xfinity Series race Saturday with the Truck Series race tonight. And he said racing at Darlington after not racing earlier this year was a hand-selected decision.
With Dover raining out, they were trying to figure out, put together the pieces and puzzle of what the right race was, and instantly my hand went up, and it's Darlington. So thankful for everybody at Spire to let me pick a selfish racetrack and just go have fun.
The Shriners Children's 200, 200.8 miles, 147 laps. Stage breaks at laps 45 and 90. Fox, your TV destination. Tomorrow night, the ARCA Menard Series East will return to Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. William Sawalich, your points leader by 1 over Jake Finch coming in. Be sure to catch the Music City 200. That 200 lapper, 125 miles, will be on Flow Racing tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Our schedule tomorrow here on the channel will start, as it always does, with the front stretch. Pat Patterson live and on the air at 7 a.m. Eastern. Motor Racing Network will be on the air with practice and qualifying at 10:30, followed by Dialed In with Claire B. Lang at 12:30. MRN back on the air at 1. An early start tomorrow for the Shriners Children's 200. And then once the race is done, Claire B. back on the air, Dialed In. She'll take you until 6 p.m. Eastern Time. The NASCAR Cup Series will run Sunday in the Goodyear 400. Darlington, the second oldest track on the circuit. We have had a race at Darlington every year since 1950. Lots of winning drivers over the years at Darlington, including Kevin Harvick, who is going for his 4th win at the track too tough to tame.
Well, Darlington is definitely a place where you want to run right against the wall to make fast lap time. But, you know, I think as the day goes and the racetrack rubbers up and it starts to get slick, and with the temperatures and everything that we'll expect this weekend, with this particular car, it's a little bit harder to run low on both ends of the racetrack and be able to use the apron than what it used to be. But still have that option, and you know, I think as we go through the day, you just kind of have to move around and see which is the best option for your car.
Martin Truex Jr. won earlier this month at Dover, and while Darlington's not his home track, it's still high on his list.
It's my favorite track. I don't really pick favorites very often in life, in anything, and I've got to say it's probably my favorite track, but just a special place, and love going there. And you know, 2 wins there is great, but I feel like we should have a whole lot more. And we've just had little issues here and there at the end of these things, like we did last year, that have taken us out. And it's been frustrating, but you know, always look forward to going there. And I know we're going to be in the mix again, and hopefully we can, you know, just finish the deal off this time.
Joey Logano won this race a year ago. Joey, what are you expecting on Sunday?
It will not be easy. I can promise you that. 400 miles, 500 miles around that place, either or, it's tough. It's going to be a long one. We got to keep track position. We talked about it a little bit. Like, us, got to stay perfect. Got to be up towards the front as much as we possibly can. You got to manage your tires. You got to manage the way you're racing your car, not hitting the wall too many times. Right? Like, all these things, like short run versus long run.
Logano's crew chief is Paul Wolf, and he says to be successful at Darlington, you've got to give a little to get a little.
Darlington's unique with the 2 different ends, different banking, loading. So trying to connect the two ends, finding a nice compromise there of being able to carry speed at both ends, and some of that could be, driver preference, a little bit of what his strengths are, what areas of the track he thinks are most important to him, but it definitely becomes a compromise.
Jeremy Bullins is Austin Cindric's crew chief at Team Penske. They will be down 2 pit crew members this weekend because of a loose wheel penalty at Kansas a weekend ago.
Certainly not your A guys that you want to have at the track, but I feel like we've worked hard as a company and are continuing to work hard to try to grow that department. So we have the depth that you talk about. It's unfortunate because you need guys, in the wings when things like this happen, but you need opportunities for them to pit other cars to get the reps and the practice that they need. And that's the part that we've been working through. And, we've had relationships in the past with other teams and do now where we have guys pitting other teams. So that's kind of how that works.
Kyle Larson came up 1 spot of winning last week at Kansas. To get to victory lane Sunday, though, he says they've got to be better at Darlington this year than last season.
We weren't that great, honestly. I think the first Darlington we were decent, but not fantastic. The second Darlington we were not good really at all, but we were able to recover to I think around a top 10. So we have some work to do with the next gen car there, but we've been so fast everywhere this season. I expect that we're going to be better than where we were last year, and hopefully you can contend with the Gibbs cars and ultimately you beat them.
At 10:30 a.m. Eastern tomorrow, the garage will be broken up into 2 groups. Each group will get 20 minutes of practice before qualifying for the Goodyear 400. Here is the breakdown of those groups.
36 cars on the entry list in Group A. B.J. McLeod, Brennan Poole, Ty Dillon, Ryan Preece, Austin Cindric, Chase Briscoe, Michael McDowell, Eric Jones, Corey LaJoie, A.J. Allmendinger, Chris Buescher, Austin Dillon, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, Tyler Reddick, William Byron, and Ross Chastain. In Group B, it'll be Ryan Newman for Rick Ware Racing in the 51 car, Noah Gregson, Harrison Burton, Todd Gilliland, Ty Gibbs, Kyle Busch, Justin Haley, Christopher Bell, Josh Berry back in for Alex Bowman in the 48 for Hendrick Motorsports, Eric Almirola, Brad Keselowski, Daniel Suarez, Ryan Blaney, Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Larson, and last week's Kansas winner, Denny Hamlin.
The Goodyear 400, 293 laps, 400.2 miles. Stage breaks at laps 90 and 185. Catch the race on FS1. Here is our schedule on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio for the events of Sunday. The front stretch with Pat Patterson gets us going at 7 Eastern. It'll be a dialed into Mother's Day special with Claire B. Lang at 11 a.m. in the East. At 1 p.m. Eastern, Fantasy Racing Preview with Uncle Petey. 2 o'clock, NASCAR Live Race Day, Motor Racing Network on the air with coverage of the Goodyear 400 when the checkered flag flies. Post-race reaction and analysis with you will begin with Brad Gilley and Claire B. Lang on the SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Post-Race Show, followed by Dialed In with Claire B. Lang. That'll take you until 10 p.m. in the East. Here are your driver-to-crew chatter channels for the Goodyear 400. You can hear Joey Logano on Sirius 136, XM 380, streaming on 980. Denny Hamlin can be heard on Sirius 137, XM 381, streaming on 981. And Chase Elliott can be heard on Sirius 138, XM 382, streaming on 982. Those channels will go live at 3 p.m. Eastern on Sunday.